this is Bishop George Johnson Jr. with your midday motivation. Another opportunity to live your dream and to step into your purpose. Has this ever happened to you? You've been reading something in the Bible and you've just gotten stuck on it. I mean, you can't move because you keep getting more revelation and more revelation as you read that particular text. That's what happened to me this week. I've been reading Genesis chapter 37, and the more I read it, the more revelation that God is pouring into my heart. And I wanted to share this with you. I titled this one, Parents Just Don't Understand. In the 90s, rapper Will Smith, he was a rapper then before he became a big-time actor. He used to be a rapper. And he wrote this song, Parents Just Don't Understand, and he talked about how he wanted to get these new clothes, and his mom bought him certain kind of clothes that wasn't matched with the time, and they talked about him when he went to school. And also he stole his mom's car trying to impress a girl. And they just didn't understand, and he got into a whole lot of trouble. I believe this is what happens here in Genesis chapter 37. Not to that extent of Will Smith's song, but I do think that sometimes we as parents, we don't understand some of the things that our children are dealing with. We don't understand sometimes that sibling rivalry. And I believe that is the case right here. I don't think Jacob really understood the level of hatred that his brothers had towards Joseph. I don't think he understood the relationship dynamic there, because he does something that doesn't make much sense to me. Because as a parent, if you're watchful and you're careful and you're watching your children and you're involved in their lives day to day, notice that Joseph would always come and tell on his brothers when they were doing something wrong. So he understood that side of it, but I don't think he understood they really hated him to the point that they wanted to kill him. I don't think he understood that, because if he understood that, he never would have told his brothers, he never would have told Joseph to go look for his brothers. In the in chapter 37 right there, he tells Joseph to go look for his brothers, and they were supposed to be in a certain location. When he got there, Joseph, the Bible says that Joseph asked the neighbor that was there, and the brothers wasn't there. So Joseph walked a little further, and he found his brothers, and that's when they plotted to kill him. You know the story. Here comes this dreamer. They throw him in a pit. One brother thought he was going to come back and save him later. I got a powerful message that's going to be coming from that. You don't want to miss that one. That's a powerful message that God gave me about people that act with integrity in silence. You say you have integrity, but you really don't have integrity, because you operate in integrity and silence. But getting back to this story here, they throw him in a pit, and then they come up with this wonderful, well, not wonderful, but they come up with this masterful plan that we're going to sell him to some slavers, but we're going to act like he was eaten by an animal. And then when they take it back to him, his father is just ripped apart. He just was torn apart. They say every time they would try to console Jacob, he could never be consoled. I think Jacob knew something was there. Like, he knew that there was a rivalry there. He knew that his brothers didn't like him, but I don't think he knew the level of hatred, because if he would have known the level of hatred, I don't think he would have put his child in harm's way by sending him away to try to go find some people that you know hate him and they outnumber him. So as a parent, I wanted to get this midday motivation to warn you. Be watchful. Be involved. Be in the knowing of what is going on in your child's life. You have to have eyes even when they don't have eyes. You have to have ears to hear even when they can't hear. I remember years ago, it was a young man in the community, and I wanted to play with this young man, be involved with this young man, and my mother told me, she said, you can't play with him. And I never could understand why I couldn't play with him. I was like, he's my buddy, he's my friend. She said, no, you can't play with him. See, my mother had watchful eyes, and she had enough insight to pull me away from him, to be disassociated with him before he got locked up. And yeah, he ended up going to jail and spending a lot of time in jail. And I don't know where he is to this day, but my mother had enough insight and wisdom to see that. We as parents, we have to see that. We have to be in the know and we have to be involved. And not only that, we need to really look at the dynamics in the sibling relationship because parents don't understand sometimes you buying a child a coat but not buying this child something that can cause a problem. Parents don't understand sometimes how you can do for this one but don't do for that one, and it could cause some huge problems. There was a joke going around about how one parent went and bought one child McDonald's and left all those other children hungry. They don't understand the tension. It's because you're thinking that you're just uh, being there for your child, or you're meeting your child's need, and I'm not responsible for that those other children. But you don't know the harm that you're causing for your child. So you need to make sure that you're being in the know. Don't be like Jacob, and you find out later from the people that killed him. You get the report from them saying something happened to your child, and you'll never know the real truth. Jacob didn't know the truth till years later what happened. He never knew the truth. He went those years without knowing until he got later in his life and he found out what actually happened. Isn't that something like what happens today? We get later in our life and we find out that your child was molested. You get later in your life and find out that your child was raped. You get later in your life and find out that your child was being bullied. You get later in your life and you find out all of these different things was going on. Listen to your children and understand them. Don't be like the song, parents don't understand. You need to understand what's going on and you need to be involved. God bless you. We'll see you on tomorrow.